Growing up in Enniskillen, I was made familiar with music from a very young age. I would hear it whilst walking the streets and see people enjoying it in every pub I could see. I came to find out that my father, Rory O'Donnell, had actually been in a band, and that band was called Index. I was even more surprised to find out that they had played in front of thousands of people at one point, and even been on the radio and TV. I wanted to know why my father had been in this band, and why he loved music so much. I knew I had found my opportunity to explore the music of Enniskillen, thanks to a certain piece of art engraved on its very path. So abide with me as we walk, talk, words inspired by Michael Softly lead us on a musical journey around the island town of Enniskillen. An island where the music of the Divine Comedy, from National Express to Promenade, softly lead to Joan Trimble's Buttermilk Point Reel, inspired by her love of Fermanagh and Devonish Island. Our journey begins with Michael Softly, a British singer-songwriter and guitarist. A figurehead during the British folk scene, a man well known by the older community of Enniskillen, where he settled later in life, renowned for never wearing any shoes or always being seen riding his bike around town. But the reason most people remember him is for his busking. Michael would always sit outside town hall and play his music, never taking anyone's money, as he'd rather have people listen to his music and enjoy it for free. Michael Softly sadly passed away on the 1st of September 2017, leaving his love of music forever engraved in the town of Enniskillen with the words walk, talk. Seeing a title dedicated to a musician in my hometown made me realise how much Enniskillen took Michael Softly into their hearts. Enniskillen has a deep bond with music, and regardless of whether you're busking on the Diamond, playing one of the many pubs, or make it big like the Divine Comedy, there's always a warm reception. I wanted to find out more about the town's love of music, so I went along to Crow's Nest to meet a drummer, Paul Jackman, who's played alongside my father for over 10 years. Paul Jackman was the drummer in Index, and so I believe speaking with him would help me better understand the world of music and why my dad loves it so much. So I asked him what music meant to him, and to tell me about some of the places he had performed to get a better grasp of what makes someone want to get into the world of music in the first place.
When I was growing up, it meant a way of, it was expression, particularly in the north at the time that we were in. There was a lot of anger and angst, obviously, with the political situation and so on. Although when I first started listening to music, it was more, and it still is to an extent, it was more about melody. But very, very quickly I graduated on to the punk end of things, the Uptones, Stiff Little Fingers, Rudy, the Defects, bands like that. They were loud, and they just appealed to everything that I that was in me. Music at that time, and even now, to me, just means a way of expressing myself, but more so enjoying myself. I just love playing it. The Vintage, as I said, holds a special place for me, so I absolutely love the vibe and all. From a sound point of view, it probably wasn't the best place to play in, because it was a raised stage, the audience were all down below, but just to play, it was a special place. I love playing the Crow's Nest. Great venue, and great sound in the place, and again, usually good vibe in it. It's always been a good place to play. There's a few other places in the town we played, the Devonish and places like that, but I would say the Vintage and the Crows were the two places that I would single out as good venues for the bands I played in anyway.
After speaking with Paul, I had an idea. If I wanted to understand music better, who better to talk to than the man who supplies the town with his instruments? Kevin Burns, the owner of KB Music. So I went to Kevin and asked why he decided to open a shop, how he started to get into music, and if he had encountered any artists in his time owning the shop.
Well, I was made redundant in 2011, so I had to find something. And I have worked in the music industry previously, so this is without a music shop, so I started my own. It was redundancy, it was kick-started, so that kick-started me, so the rest is history. I was walking home from school one day as a teenager, past a local music shop, I think it was McMahon's on Church Street, and I heard this fantastic noise coming out of it. And I stuck my head in through the door and couldn't believe that it was coming out of this box with bass and drums and organ sounds. And there was a chap just pressing one finger on the keyboard it was in a wooden cabinet. And it was a brilliant machine, and I told my father about it, and he ended up buying it, and I played away at that for years and bought a few other organs in later years and went back to piano and just got into music big time from there. Most recently I had a man in who was selling a keyboard, and I just asked him, I says, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And I just knew his face looked familiar. And I ended up with one of the chieftains, it was Matt Malloy. He was up for a funeral of another fairly local musician who had passed away, Artie McLean. So, and yes, I met a couple of members of Planksty, someone from Fleetwood Mac in one day, and then there's local ones as well. Pat McManus being really well known in local circles. So yes, you meet some famous people too, and there's probably some that I haven't recognised been in them. So
after talking with Kevin and Paul, I feel like I finally understand Enniskillen's relationship with music, and why my father loves it as much as he does. It's a way of expression. It's an outlet for people who want to let the world know how they feel. And we get reminded of this throughout the whole time with the multiple pieces of art which represent music, all holding emotions, memories, and feelings in each and every one of them.